right. Today I'm very happy to welcome Yancy Butler. Cannot believe she's here. We've been scheduling for 5 years. How is everything?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Most welcome, most welcome. Big fan of your work.
Thank
And I
you.
want to tell you, I went to see Hard Target. We have a Metro Golden Mayor Cinema in Egypt, downtown Cairo.
Oh, wonderful.
And we have one in Cairo, one in Alexandria. And few years later, I worked there in the marketing department. It's upstairs the cinema. There is a back door. So I work with Universal, Paramount, and Metro Golden Mayer film distribution, theatrical.
Oh, that's
Uh,
wonderful.
yeah, yeah. So and then DVD, Blu-rays, and television and film festival. So it's a long journey like yours. And I want to first, I started to look at your early films before Hard Target. I discovered you did an appearance when you were a child in a film. Do you remember that?
Oh, my goodness. Yes. I did it
Yeah.
as a favor for my mom.
Yes, yes. And for people to know, your mom worked in Broadway, right?
Yes, she did. She
Yeah, and
did.
your father was a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
No, I
tell
did
me,
it on my spring break.
tell me about this work and also about growing up in New York in Greenwich, because we would visit New York frequently every April during Tribeca Festival. Me and my wife
Oh,
to see
wonderful.
films and select films and stuff like that. So tell me, growing up as a young New Yorker with a family of entertainer, how was it for you?
It was it was wonderful. New York is such an eclectic mix of people and food and all different cultures. So it was a wonderful place to grow up. I grew up very quickly. It's
Yes,
difficult to grow up in the city, but I just loved it. I go back all the time. My whole family is still there. I'm presently in California.
yes, yes, yes. And this movie called The Savage Weekend, it was a horror film.
Yes, yes, it
Oh,
was so bad, but
uh-huh.
it was really fun to make. I got scared. I have a funny story. One of the guys had makeup on his hair as if he'd been
Yes.
hit in the head, and I
Uh-huh.
started crying. I was only like 7 years old, and I didn't know it was
Yes,
fake, and
yes,
so
yes.
it really scared
Of
me.
course. Yes, yes. I am talking to you, seeing the poster of the film. It's a classic 70s, 80 horror poster, with, these extreme colors, the violet, pink, red,
Yes,
you and
exactly.
it has the angel of death.
Oh, really?
With,
I've never seen the poster.
yeah, yeah, you can check it on Internet Movie
Oh, that's
Database.
funny.
But I want to tell you that the 90s was, your time, because you've been very active until you get Hard Target. So tell me about how did you started to work in television? Because you appeared in very important series at the time, I think in recurring roles. Uh,
Yes.
yes, tell me about it.
Well, my family didn't want me to go into the business because they were all entertainers. And so the deal was I had to go to college and then I
Mhm.
what I want to do. And they handed me such a huge bill from college that I thought, how do I make this money quickly?
Mhm.
So I really just lucked out. I auditioned for a Law and Order, which is a big television show here in the
Yeah.
state,
Mhm.
and I got the part, and then I caught Dick Wolf, the producer's eye,
Yeah.
and I got cast as a lead in one of his series. It was a short-lived series. Um,
Mhm.
we were up against Murder She Wrote in its third season with Angela
Yes.
Lansbury, and it was doing very well. So we
Mhm.
didn't get the best ratings, but that's how I got into the business.
Yes. And when Hard Target came, I think I've seen in the same year your film with Jeff Yahi. I used to love Jeff Yahi, by the way. You did with him the hit list at the same year. I think I watched it on video. It came on video that year at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, because both of them are 93 release. So tell me about your experience doing. It was a starring role in a television film and a co-starring role with Van Damme. So tell me about commencing, in front of the camera in films. How was it for you?
It was I was very nervous. I wasn't very good in Hit List, but I became engaged to Jeff Fahey, so that's the only good thing that came out of that film for me. But
Yeah,
working with Jean Claude Van Damme was wonderful. I mean, the film in itself is quite extraordinary with all the
yeah,
stunts and
yeah,
the
yeah.
men,
Slow
and
motion.
so and John Woo. It was his first American film that he
Yes,
directed.
it was
So
as well first Van Damme film as a studio film because he did his films before that were independently produced.
oh really? I
He
didn't know
was,
that.
yeah, yeah, he was okay. He was even famous in Egypt, because in Egypt, I grew up in the 70s. We used to go to Bruce Lee films. So I went to Enter the Dragon with my wife, with my mother and my father. And my father started to worry about me because why I like to watch such,
Violent,
violent,
yeah,
violent.
violent stuff.
I was 7 years old, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So and then we used to have this crush on Bruce Lee at the time in the
Oh
70s.
sure, Bruce Lee was the
Yes.
original. He was great.
Everybody used to imitate him. A lot of posters across downtown Cairo until Michael Jackson came, and all the young people used to dress
Yeah, right.
like
Exactly.
his look and beat it, the red sweater,
Yes,
But
exactly. Yes, the
I,
red sweater. Yes.
I think in Hard Target as well, when I saw the film, I think I saw it more than once later on video and on
Mhm.
television. I think, what caught my eyes, that you have very strong eyes, when you
Oh,
act,
thank you.
you are very expressive. And
Oh,
I think
good.
John Woo liked to film you because in this kind of action film, with Asian, flavor, they like to have the heroine, her hair, flies like this slow
Yes.
motion. So I
Yes, I
think
had very long hair. Very long hair.
yes, and it was, you turn very fast and the camera caught you in slow motion.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yeah. But tell
John
me about
Woo loves his slow motion. He loves to film in slow motion.
lot of explosions. I liked very much the film. It was an introduction to, for Juno to enter the States. And I've
Yeah.
seen as well, you've been working in the 90s parallelly in between television and cinema. And after Hard Target, you co-starred with Wesley Snipes in Drop Zone. So you got
Yes.
yourself trained for parachuting?
Yes, I had so much fun. As a matter of fact, I went parachuting to prepare for the part. And
Yes.
so I've jumped out of a plane. It was something else. It was really fun.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, working on action films, how was it for you as a woman in the 90s? Because it was not that frequent in the 90s until
No,
I think maybe Angelina Jolie later did Tomb Raider, you know.
right.
Uh, so tell me about this experience. You did have, I think, a lot of fans.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you to say. It was very cutting edge and very new for, a lot of films. Actually,
Mhm.
Drop Zone, the original character that I played, was written for Mel Gibson. It was
Yes,
supposed to be a buddyism film, and
yes,
the
mhm,
director John Badham wanted to change it into a female role.
yes,
Thank goodness. So that's why I get punched in the face, because that was supposed to be Mel Gibson. So we had a lot of fun kind of carving out that whole
yes,
era of women action stars. So it was really I feel quite honored to be on the forefront of that.
yes. Yes, and I think you've been very active in the 90s,
Yes.
working cinema and television. And also, I used to watch PD Blue when it was new.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you co-starred in it in one episode,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did a guest lead on that. Yes. I
yes,
played a heroin addict who
yes,
is having a difficult time, and the reason I went to audition for that is, you know, the
yes,
actress Kathy Bates.
for sure, yes.
She was directing that episode, and I was always a
Kathy
huge fan
Bates
of Kathy's.
from
And I,
from Misery. She did Misery. Who did Misery, right?
yes, yes,
Okay, she
exactly.
directed. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I always
Wonderful
wanted
actress,
to
by
meet
the way.
her, so I went in and auditioned for her, and I got the part, so I got lucky.
Yes, yes. And as well, tell me about working in the 90s. What is different than nowadays? I mean, production in cinema and television, according to you?
I think people were willing to spend more money back in the 90s. You know, we
Really?
didn't have a lot of independent film companies.
Yes,
So I think that everything was done on a much bigger scale, and
correct.
and it was a very exciting time to be on the cutting edge of action, and I just fell into those roles. I don't do a lot of action. I mean, I exercise, but I
Yes,
don't know any martial arts. Actually, Jean-Claude and Wesley Snipes taught me a little martial arts, but
yes,
I just happened to fall into these roles, and but the
yes,
difference is really the amount of time that we were able to spend with the project, you
for
know,
sure.
which equals money. I mean, I
Yes,
know that for Drop Zone, we rehearsed for a full week before we started shooting. And
yes,
that's unheard of today. People just don't have the money to do that.
for sure. And I remember reading at the time that the insurance company didn't allow Wesley Snipes to do everything, you know, because
Yes.
he wanted to do more and more and more, you
Yes.
know.
As a matter of fact, the actor Michael Jeter, who played the computer guy who had the files of the FBI and everything in the DEA, he
Hmm.
jumped out of a plane
Hmm.
for real on
Yes,
camera, and the insurance company was like, there will be no more jumping out of planes by talent, and they got really pissed off at him.
for sure. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I see as well. People likes very much your your character in Witchblade, and it's
Oh, thank you.
more
Yeah, that was in the
action.
2000, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So you
2002.
did a film, and it was picked up with a series, right?
Yes, it was just supposed to be a movie, and
In the
it got
beginning.
such great ratings that they picked it up into a series, which was wonderful.
Yes, yes. Tell me about impersonating this character because it was a mix of sci-fi and action, and you were a police officer. So tell me about it.
Yes, well, Witchblade is based on a comic book, and
Yes.
um and so we were really concerned with pleasing the fans of the comic book and developing an audience for ourselves. And from what I've heard, we pleased the comic book fans. They were very
Hmm.
happy with the product, with the show Witchblade.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Hmm. Yes, I liked it a lot. It was, I think before comics became very big
Yes.
nowadays with Marvel and DC. And I
Yes.
want to tell you, in the 70s as well, there was a television series with an actor called Nicholas Hammond.
Uh-huh.
Spider-Man. He did Spider-Man for television.
Oh, that's
And
great.
and at the 70s, and at the time, some of the very good television films, the studios used to release them as film, in cinemas.
Oh,
So
really?
I've seen it in cinema. The episode that has two parts. It was
Yes.
released in three films in cinemas.
Really? I didn't know
Columbia,
that.
yeah, yeah, Columbia Picture did it, and some of the films I've seen in theaters, they were pilots like Witchblade.
Really?
Yeah. Battlestar Galactica, the first series, it was released on cinema in Egypt,
Interesting.
and also Duel, one of the first Steven Spielberg film was, Dennis Weaver. He used to play MacLeod,
Oh,
for.
yes.
So he did. So these films were released in cinema when I was a kid. You know.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
yeah.
Actually, Witchblade was the first television series to advertise in a
Yes.
studio, in a cinema. And
Yeah.
we advertised our show and the movie at first, and then we advertised later for the show. And I think it was the first television series to advertise in cinema.
Yeah. I want to ask you something. I got this question I did not prepare, but I think it was your only television series. Otherwise, you work in television films and feature films for cinemas. Feature releases. But I want to ask you about when you start in a television series and it got canceled after one or two seasons. Do you feel worried about getting further work or something like that?
Oh, of
Or
course. Of course. I think every actor worries about that. I mean, even today, when I finish a role, I think, what am I going to do next? What am I going to
next?
do next? I think
Yes,
it's inherent in actors to feel that way. They never know when the work is going to come.
yes, yes. I want to tell you, when you start, before, usually which played and the many famous television series at the time in the 80s and the 90s, they lasted for 10, 12 seasons, like Dallas,
I
like Not
know.
Sleep. And each season had 26 episodes. And
Yeah.
if you right now maximum, as television series, it can have like 6, 8 episodes right now.
Yes.
Before, because the budget escalated, I think, as well. you know
I
and
agree.
from dramatic point of view, I prefer that, and so we can compress the drama. We're not spending a lot of time like a soap opera. Uh,
Exactly.
so I prefer the new formulas. So
Yes.
I want to tell you, I feel like after Witchblade, you started to slow down a little bit with roles than before,
Yes.
or am I not correct?
Witchblade took a lot out of me, and I was working like 19 hours a day on
Uh-huh.
Witchblade, and I was working on weekends doing publicity, flying everywhere because we were filming Witchblade in Canada, so I would have
Yes,
to fly back to the States to do publicity, and it took a lot out of me, so I took some time to recover.
yes, of course. Yes, stop shooting. Yes, but
Exactly.
I want to ask you as well about you co-starred in Kick Ass.
Yes.
Yes, these two films are quite special.
Yes, they are.
The vision they had for superheroes, and especially I like the first one a
The
lot,
first
really.
one was really good. I had some major scenes that got cut out of it, and the
Yeah.
director apologized to me. He said, "I'm so sorry, but we needed to keep the action going because it was an action film."
But
So,
it is a very good film, from point of view, the angle they see superheroes from it. It's a mix of action and dark comedy a bit.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I liked the script very much, and that's why I wanted to do it because I liked the script very much.
yes, yes. And tell me later on, recently, I think as well, which played in and films like Kick Ass, they invited you a lot to these events of comic conferences, and you
Yeah.
go on. So tell me about meeting the friends.
Oh, it's so wonderful to meet fans because, I'm
Mhm.
not doing theater where you
Yeah.
get instant applause or, I'm
Uh-huh.
doing television. So what I hear is the crew asking, is she in focus? Okay, we're moving on. So you never know if you're pleasing people. And I love meeting fans. I love when
Yeah.
people come up to me and tell me that they enjoyed work or the most important thing to me is when they've told me that I've helped them through a difficult time through a film, or their mother was sick and they were taking care of her, and that really means a lot to me.
Uh-huh. Yes, of course. These human stories and memories.
Yes.
It's quite beautiful.
Yes.
So tell me right now, beside acting and comic book conferences and appearance and interviews like that, what do you like to do as well?
I'm a big reader. I love to read books, and
Mhm.
I'm reading a bunch of Stephen King books actually. And I
Yes,
read Misery just recently,
yes.
and then I see the film, or
Uh-huh.
Shawshank Redemption. I just read, and then I see the
Yes,
film, and it's
yes,
really fun to see the
yes,
old films, but to read the book and then to see the film. I love doing that with many authors, but Stephen
yes.
King is my new one.
I saw Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile more than
Yes,
one.
the Green
I
Mile is I've never seen the Green Mile, and
You
so
should see The Green Mile. It's something wonderful.
I
And
bet I'm gonna read the book first and
yeah,
then see the Green
try
Mile.
to read the book because Stephen King has this kind of universe. So
Yes,
if you read, for instance, that became
yes,
a film to a miniseries, then a film, then a series, a sequel right now.
yes.
You will find mentions of the Shawshank prison.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, and there was a very nice television series. I think it was on Hulu 4 years ago. It took place in the Shawshank, universe, and
Uh-huh.
it had Tim Robbins as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I think I saw that.
It was
I think I
great.
saw that series.
It
Yes,
was very nice. Yes, yes. So
yes.
this is what.
It was
Yes,
a
and
wonderful series.
Stephen King films that are not quite horror, they are one of the best. You
Yes,
know,
they are.
it,
Stephen King
Shawshank
writes
Redemption, Green
stuff
Mile.
is wonderful. It's
So,
wonderful.
so
I
tell me,
can't wait to read The Green Mile.
did you read a book and you wanted to play a character in it, either Stephen King or something else?
Ooh, I would love to play Misery. That would be
Again,
fun. I would love to play Kathy Bates' part in Misery. That would
yeah,
be
yeah,
fun. I love playing evil people because
yes,
when you're crazy, you
mhm,
can't go too far. You know what I mean? When you're out of your mind and mentally
yes.
challenged, you can really take the character as far as you want. And so I would love to play that character. Great
Yes.
question.
Misery was great. I think the direction by Rob Reiner was great. James Gunn was
Yes.
great. And it is so great that a lot of time I tell my wife when she is in the kitchen, she reminds me of of Kathy Bates'
Oh,
character.
that's well, I
With the
don't
big.
know if does she take it as a compliment?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. I told her yes, yes. With the stuff, the overall and the knife,
Yes.
preparing stuff in the kitchen. I told her, this is every day in our marriage is a new adventure. All the time I tell her. So,
Oh, that's so funny. That's
so
so
tell
funny.
me, do you have certain dreams, dream character or dream project or personal dream you would like to realize in the upcoming period?
Well, as I get older, I'm playing mothers and even a grandmother I played for the first time. So
Yes,
in a film called Boogeyman. So
yes,
it's changing. It's weird
yes,
getting older on camera,
for
but
sure.
and in the public eye. But those are the characters that I'm playing mostly now.
If they do Witchblade again, do you like to play her mother or her grandmother?
Absolutely. Or somebody that had the bracelet before her. I would love to do that as kind
Yes,
of a mentor. That would
yes,
be wonderful. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
many fans want it to come back. So
for
many
sure.
fans want us to do another show, and I would love to.
For sure, I think right now it will be very good to revive it, because
Yes.
the fans are there, and as well A lot of I've seen a lot of good comic book adaptation recently,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
even on television when it is well written and directed.
Yes.
It trains as well with non-comic book fan. Example, we've seen together with my wife, the television series about the penguin. You
Oh,
know,
yes.
I loved it. I
I
really
haven't
loved it.
seen it. I haven't
Tried.
seen it yet, but I heard it's very
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It was very good actually.
Great.
Yeah. So this is great, Yancy. Finally, I'm very happy to welcome you on my
Thank you. I'm
channel,
very happy to be here.
and I wish you all the best in your
Thank you so much.
upcoming projects and on everything you do. And I will follow up your news. And if you have something new, I will invite you again.
Oh, thank you so much. I would love that. I would love that. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for your interest.
Like you, likewise. I wish you all the best. Have a beautiful Friday and beautiful weekend.
You too. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.